You've seen the skyline, the yellow cabs, the neon glow of Times Square. But what about the stuff they don't put on the postcards? In 2025, New York City is still one of the most visited places on Earth, but depending on who you ask, it's either back to its best or on the edge of chaos. So what's the truth? In this video, we dive deep into how safe is New York City in 2025, what the tour guides don't tell you, from crime stats to street-level reality and the neighborhoods you might want to skip. Stick around, hit that like button if you've ever dreamed of visiting NYC, and let's get into it. The real crime numbers. What's actually going on? So let's cut through the noise, because if you've scrolled through Twitter or watched cable news lately, you've probably heard it all. New York is out of control, it's the 80s all over again, and my favourite, don't go, it's a war zone. Yeah, not quite. The truth? Like most big cities, crime in New York isn't black and white. In 2025, violent crime is actually down from the pandemic peak a few years ago. Homicide rates have dropped, and subway assaults, while still a thing, aren't nearly as widespread as they were painted back in 2022. That said, petty theft and grand larceny? Those are definitely up, especially in areas with high foot traffic. So yeah, your bag might not be snatched, but your phone, that's another story. Now, don't get me wrong, things aren't perfect. Certain neighborhoods are still grappling with spikes in car thefts and property crimes, and the NYPD has shifted its approach in some areas with fewer patrols in low priority zones and more tech-driven surveillance downtown. But here's what the numbers don't show: the context. New York has 8.5 million people packed into a very vertical city. Crime might grab the headlines, but day-to-day life? It's mostly people getting coffee, heading to work, walking dogs, living normally. So no, it's not 1979 again, but it's not Disneyland either. The city's safe-ish, but you gotta move smart. We'll get into how in the next section. Tourist hotspots, safe zones or easy targets. Alright, so you've made it to New York, maybe for the first time, and your must-see list is stacked. Times Square, the Brooklyn Bridge, Central Park, maybe even the Statue of Liberty if you're feeling ambitious. But here's the question: are these places actually safe, or are they just tourist traps with good lighting? Let's start with Times Square. It's bright, it's buzzing, and yeah, it's pretty safe. Tons of police, cameras and foot traffic. But that also makes it prime real estate for scammers. You know, the fake monks asking for donations, costumed characters charging you photos after they pose, or the classic CD guy handing you a free album and demanding $10. It's not dangerous, just annoying. So keep your wallet in your front pocket, and if someone gets too friendly out of nowhere, walk away. Central Park? Super chill during the day. Locals jog there, families picnic, influencers do their thing. But after dark, it gets sketchier. Not horror movie scary, just empty. Stick to lit areas and avoid the deeper sections if you're alone. The subway is a mixed bag. During rush hour, it's packed and feels totally safe. But late at night, especially on the outer lines, things can feel a bit unpredictable. Not always unsafe, just weird. You'll see it. Headphones in, but keep your eyes up. Oh, and don't sleep on Brooklyn. Places like Dumbo and Williamsburg, super safe, super Instagrammable. But don't wander off the beaten path thinking every block is a photo op. Bottom line, these spots are meant for tourists, and the city protects them for that reason. But scammers and pickpockets know that too, so be alert, not anxious, and enjoy the chaos for what it is. Classic New York energy. The Borough breakdown: where to stay and where to stay sharp. Okay, let's break down the boroughs, because New York isn't just Manhattan, and trust me, where you book your hotel or Airbnb really changes your experience. So, Manhattan first. If it's your first trip, this is probably where you'll stay, and honestly, it's your safest bet. Midtown, the financial district, Chelsea, the Upper West Side. They're all well lit, well patrolled and packed with people. You'll pay more, but you'll sleep easy. Just avoid those shady budget hotels around Penn Station unless you're into cigarette-scented carpets and flickering hallway lights. Brooklyn? It's not the gritty borough from 90s movies anymore. Places like Williamsburg, Park Slope and Brooklyn Heights are clean, safe and kinda hipster heaven. Tons of cafes, art galleries and cool rooftop views. But yeah, there's a but. Some outer neighbourhoods still feel edgy, especially late at night. Not necessarily dangerous, but not tourist-friendly either. If you're not sure, stick to places near subway lines and check recent reviews. Queens? Super diverse, amazing food, and more local than touristy. Astoria and Long Island City are great spots if you want views of the skyline without paying Manhattan prices. Just keep in mind you'll be doing more commuting. Now the Bronx. This one gets a bad rap, but honestly, there are some beautiful areas. Fordham, Riverdale, solid. Just be more aware if you're exploring solo and maybe skip late night walks unless you know the area well. And Staten Island? You'll only go there if you're taking the free ferry for views of the Statue of Liberty, and then you'll probably turn right back around. Point is, every borough has safe zones and sketchy corners. Do a little research, trust your gut, and remember, the city changes block by block. Police, politics and public perception. So here's the thing about New York. Safety isn't just about statistics, it's also about vibes. And in 2025, the city's got this weird split. Part of it feels like it's bouncing back, and part of it feels, well, kinda tense. Let's talk about the police. NYPD has upped their presence in tourist zones, especially the subway, Times Square and around big events. You'll see uniformed officers, K9 units, and even those mobile camera towers in some places. It definitely helps the safe and watched feeling, but not everyone sees it the same way. Some locals feel over-policed, others feel like cops show up after something happens. It's a delicate balance. Politically, crime has been a hot topic. The mayor's been trying to walk a fine line, promising safer streets while also avoiding the aggressive policing style of the early 2000s. That means more community outreach programs, more unarmed patrols, and recently even mental health response units for non-violent incidents. But public perception? That's the wild card. You'll hear New Yorkers saying things like, "It's not dangerous, just different," or "It's still New York, just pay attention." And honestly, that checks out. The media doesn't help. One viral video of a subway fight and suddenly it's city in chaos. But if you actually ride the subway, most days it's just people commuting, scrolling TikTok, maybe nodding off with their face in a book. So yeah, perception and politics definitely colour the way people feel about safety. But boots on the ground, the city's functional, busy and very much alive. It's not lawless, it's just loud. Smart traveller tips, staying safe without killing the vibe. Alright, now let's get into the stuff that actually helps you enjoy NYC without constantly watching your back. Because you can be street smart without being paranoid, and it honestly makes the trip way smoother. First rule, blend in. Don't walk around with your phone out, looking lost in the middle of the sidewalk. New Yorkers don't stop, ever, so you're standing still with a giant paper map. Total tourist giveaway. If you're checking directions, step to the side, take a beat, then move. Next, bags. Keep 'em zipped, in front of you on the subway, and maybe skip the giant backpack if you're doing crowded areas. Crossbody bags are your best friend here. Use transit apps like Citymapper or Transit. They'll help you navigate the subway and avoid the oops, wrong train to the Bronx moment. And Google Maps walking directions? Actually super solid in the city. Don't flash cash. It's not unsafe to carry money, but if you're pulling out a fat wad of bills at a food truck, you're basically holding up a rob me sign. Oh, and those late night cravings. Totally fine to grab pizza at 1 a.m, but stay in well-lit areas, stick with friends, and maybe don't wander into unknown neighborhoods after midnight unless you know where you're going. Most importantly, trust your gut. If something feels off, it probably is. Just move along, cross the street, or duck into a bodega if you need to reset. Bottom line, NYC's awesome. You don't need to be scared, you just need to stay sharp. Once you get the rhythm, the city kind of opens up. And that's when the real fun begins. So that's the honest take on how safe is New York City in 2025, what the tour guides don't tell you. The city's messy, magnetic and full of contradictions, but that's always been its thing. It's not about avoiding risk entirely, it's about knowing where to go, what to expect and how to move like you belong. Got a New York story? Or maybe a tip we missed? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear what your NYC experience was really like. And if this helped, go ahead and hit like, subscribe and tap that bell icon so you don't miss the next city deep dive. Thanks for watching, and hey, welcome to New York!